Hello, beautiful. Welcome in to the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, all signs reading. My name is Amber. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I am so happy to have you here. This is going to be a pretty exciting lunar eclipse. It's the first one we've seen in Pisces since 2017. Now, not only are we going to have a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 17th, but it's also going to be conjuncting Pisces' ruling planet Neptune. And just a side note, Neptune has been in Pisces since February of 2011 and will remain there until January of 2026. But anytime a planet is in its home sign or its home house, it's where the planet feels the most comfortable and happy. Those characteristics and attributes of that sign and that house are going to be amplified. Now, Neptune is known as the god of the ocean. And the ocean is made of water, and water represents emotions. So Neptune is all about the deepest, darkest depths of your emotions. It's about emotional sensitivity. And in its shadow side, though, it can represent fantasy and illusion. And when a planet goes retrograde, this is a more introverted energy, but it can also represent the opposite of what the planet means in the direct. So with Neptune direct, meaning fantasy and illusion, in the retrograde, it can be a feeling of taking the rose-colored glasses off and seeing things how they really are. And this is the theme around this lunar eclipse. It's about becoming aware of those illusions and delusions that you've been letting shape your experience. Now, full moons are always about releasing and letting go. It's about releasing what no longer serves us to make way for the new, to make way for the fresh and new. It's about facing your fears and shadows that are hidden deep within your subconscious mind. So, a lunar eclipse is a supercharged full moon. So, this is just an explosion of releasing of illusions and facing the truth of the matter. Now, Pisces sits in the 12th house. The 12th house on the zodiac wheel is the last and final house. So innately, Pisces, or the 12th house, represents the ending, the finality, a conclusion. So putting this all together, this lunar eclipse in Pisces is going to be about releasing attachments to outcomes. It's about facing the truth of the matter and acknowledging what has been holding us back for way too long. This is a time for surrendering to the truth and seeing things how they really are, letting go of control and learning to trust in the flow of life, trust in the universe, and seeing the beauty and poetry around embracing uncertainty. All right, let's get into the reading. So this lunar eclipse in Pisces feels big to me. It feels like a 777, like a jackpot. Like everything is lining up to finally make sense of things. It feels like a eureka moment. It really does, especially because we've also got the Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, the Uranus retrograde, and the Neptune retrograde. It's just a feeling of things are going to finally start making sense. If they're not now, they will soon. Things are finally coming to light, especially things around where you've felt held back in your life, what you've been giving your energy to that is not, it's not where you're supposed to be right now. I feel like we're going to all start looking at where we've been holding ourselves back. That wanted to fall out. Did you see that? Let's see what it is. No way! The moon. Look what just fell out. I need to fix that light. It's a little glary. Look what just fell out of the deck. The moon. You know, the moon is about your deep subconscious. It's about It's about your fears and illusions, but it's also about your intuition. And I feel like so many of us have been ignoring our own intuition about things. And I feel like we've all kind of been a little like lack of courage. There's been a lack of courage around certain things. Like, you know what you need to do, you know which direction you need to go, you know which way you're being drawn to emotionally and spiritually, but it's scary because it could mean that you have to let go of other things. You need to walk away from other things, or you need to face some fears around your own inadequacies and insecurities. But what have you got to lose? These lives are so short. These lives are so short. You've got to chase your dreams. You got to chase your dreams, and you got to not be afraid. You have to embrace the uncertainty of the future and just trust that if you feel so called and drawn to do something or go somewhere, that there is such an important reason for that. And the longer you ignore it, the louder it's going to get, and things are not going to go well in your life if you're not following your intuition, if you're not following your hopes and chasing your dreams. You're just going to end up in disappointment after disappointment after disappointment until you start listening to that voice, listening to that intuition within you. All right, Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, please. What else do you have to tell us about this beautiful lunar eclipse? I can't believe that. The moon just fell right out of the deck. Did you see that? I love that. Thank you so much, Spirit. All right, can I get 2 more cards for the base reading, please? 2 more cards. What else do you have to tell us? Last shuffle. All right, 2 more cards, please. Vesta, fire, passion, guardian of the hearth, transformation, and fixed, stability, the stabilizer of the zodiac. So the first card out we got is the moon, of course, and we already talked about the moon. The moon is your deep subconscious, your fears and illusions, and it is Cancer's planet, but it's also associated with Pisces, especially in the tarot. And one of Pisces cards is the High Priestess, and the moon is on the High Priestess card and is associated with water. And then the next card is Vesta. I gotta cover her up because she's a little naked. But Vesta is an asteroid, and it represents the guardian of the hearth, or transformation. It's definitely about releasing what's not working. Transformation, it burns, it's sacred fire, right? And the fire burns away what was, to make way for the new. It's a phoenix rising from the ashes energy. It's also about sexual exploration and passion. I would love to read this for you out of the booklet. Yeah, this to me, it looks like illusions are going to come to light. Transformation will happen around your illusions, around where you've felt misled in your life, and a phoenix rising from the ashes type energy is going to happen. A transformation is going to happen around this. It's time to burn away the past to make way for the new. Vesta, associated with Virgo and Scorpio. Vesta is the guardian of the hearth and sacred fire. It is the virgin as a symbol of self-renewal and purification. It carries a sense of wholeness and home, inner transformation, sexuality, spirituality, and devotion are all part of its values. On the bright side, Vesta is about fire as a ritual, purification, sexuality, and devotion. But in its shadow side, it can be sexual repression or imbalance, inhibition, and burnout. Definitely, I feel like fire as a ritual, purification, and devotion, this is the feeling I get around this lunar eclipse. It's about burning away the past, making way for the new, transformation and renewal, purification. And then the last card we get is the fixed card. Now the fixed signs of the zodiac are Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius. The fixed signs are the stabilizers of the zodiac. So I feel like this is going to stabilize your experience, burning away these illusions, transformation and purification around the illusions that you've had in your life. This is going to stabilize your new beginning. This is going to stabilize and make more sense of where you're headed in life. Let's get into your reading. Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Aries. What kind of illusions or delusions does the Aries need to focus on releasing at this time? What kind of illusions or delusions does the Aries need to release? One more shuffle. All right, let's get 3 cards for Aries, please. The Lovers, the Moon, whoa, and the Devil, Aries. You know, the lovers doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship, a partnership. It can symbolize a decision, and traditionally in the tarot, that's what the Lovers meant. Now, something really interesting about this spread right here is that we've got the Lovers on this side and then the Devil on this side, and the Lovers are in the Devil. So this is duality right here. This is light and dark. And then we've got the Moon right smack dab in the middle. And the Moon is all about duality. It's about the light and the dark. The Moon is the same. It's always the Moon, but sometimes it's full and sometimes it's new. Sometimes it's black and sometimes it's white. So what I'm seeing here is I'm not really taking this for face value. I'm taking this as duality. I feel like Spirit here is encouraging you to embrace the dark sides of life more. You know, the duality of your experience of your life, the contrast in your life, the good and the bad, the quiet and then the loud, the boring and the exciting. You know, Aries, you are a fire sign, a cardinal, or yes, a cardinal fire sign. The cardinals are, they're the pioneers. They seek excitement and newness. And I feel like when you don't have enough of that excitement in your life, it can start to wear you down or make you depressed. And I feel like Spirit here is definitely encouraging you to embrace the duality of nature, to embrace the duality of your life, those moments that are boring and mundane, and then the moments that are alive and exciting. And right in the smack dab middle, we've got the moon. As above, so below, creative, madness, dreams, release, and natural instinct. The moon. Beautiful. Let me show you the cards too. There's the Lovers. Isn't that a beautiful card? This card is a little bit risque. It's a little risque. The Lovers are drinking from the teat of the devil in this card. So I can't show the full card to you, but it's an amazing card. But yes, Aries, it's time for you to embrace the duality of your life, the experiences, the good and the bad, the boring and the exciting. Embrace it all, because it's all part of your life experience. And each situation and scenario is equally important to your own expansion. So, release your attachment to the exciting. Release your attachment and your deep desire for the next biggest, best thing, and just surrender and be in a state of serenity and acceptance, and embrace the beauty and the poetry around uncertainty. Thank you so much for tuning in, Aries. I hope you have a beautiful lunar eclipse in Pisces, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, Taurus, let's get into your reading. Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Taurus, please. What does the Taurus need to work on releasing at this time? What kind of illusions or delusions need to come to light for the Taurus collective, please? What kind of illusions or delusions need to come to light for the Taurus collective? Let's get one more shuffle. Okay, Spirit, 3 base cards for the Taurus collective, please. Queen of Pentacles. The Emperor. And the 5 of Pentacles. Taurus, the first card that comes out is the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is she's the Queen of Earth. She's a very motherly and nurturing queen. This is an interesting depiction because if you look close, you can see a face in the mountain, and there's water coming out of her mouth. There's a hand down here. So she's like built into the earth. She's like Mother Earth. This to me feels like you've been trying to control a situation with the Emperor here. It feels like maybe you were in a state of powerless stuckness in a situation in your life. Like there was something that you could not control, and the pendulum swung to the other side, and now you're in a state of over control with the Emperor here. It feels like you're trying to control the world around you to almost a state of arrogance, I have to say, Taurus. That's the feeling I'm getting. It's like something made you really upset. There was something like somebody or something took advantage of your kindness, took advantage of your soft internal nature. And I know you are, Taurus. You're a very loving and loyal sign. And this feels like something took advantage of that loving, nurturing side of you. And this made you really upset. And now you're taking control of your life and taking control of the situation. But I can feel anger coming off of this card. And I feel like Spirit is saying here with the Five of Pentacles coming next, that this anger is not going to get you anywhere. And you may have been in this anger may be coming from a place of delusion. You might be missing the point about what your lesson is in the situation you're experiencing. You know, the Five of Pentacles is about extreme hardship. It's about being left out in the cold. On the traditional Rider-Waite, there are two people walking in the snow outside of a church, and they're the outcasts. They've been left out in the cold. And I feel like some kind of anger that you expressed has now put you in a state of sadness and depression. Like you tried to overcome something with anger. Yeah, the Emperor is Aries' card. It's about discipline and male energy. Structure imposed on your environment. Yeah, Spirit is saying here, be careful. Be careful on becoming too controlling and arrogant in your life. You need to balance out the masculine and feminine energies within you. Because I feel like I keep seeing a pendulum in my mind. Like you were very soft and gentle and loving towards something, but you feel like you were taken advantage of, and now the pendulum is swinging to the other side, and you're experiencing overly masculine energy, overly masculine feminine, or overly masculine feelings, right? Because the Queen of Pentacles is a very feminine. She's the queen of earth. She's very nurturing and motherly, gentle, kind, compassionate, nurturing, right? And the Emperor is pretty much the opposite. This came out kind of sort of in Aries' reading right before you. We got a lot of feeling about duality, a lot of opposing energy within the Aries reading, and I'm seeing it here again with the Queen of Pentacles and the Emperor. Yeah, if you let the pendulum swing too far to one side, it's gonna end up in a Five of Pentacles. Try to find the middle ground. Anger can be productive at sometimes. It's good to have a healthy expression of anger, but when it's too much, and you let the pendulum swing to the other side too much, then you're going to end up in Five of Pentacles situations. Yeah, Spirit is saying here, balance out your energies. It's time for you to release the illusion around what happened. You might be, disillusioned with the experience that you had and been looking at it in the wrong way. You might have been looking at it like this caused me the Five of Pentacles. But the truth is, it's how you handle a situation. the situations are going to always come. The like challenges are always going to be there, but it's how you handle it. It's how you handle it that's going to really count. That's the whole meaning of the human experience, is learning how to become a kind and compassionate emperor, not an overly masculine or angry one. All right, Taurus, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you have a beautiful full moon in Pisces, and we'll see you again in the next reading. Okay, Gemini, let's get into your reading. Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Gemini, please. How is this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces going to be affecting the Gemini collective? And what kind of illusions or delusions does the Gemini collective need to focus on releasing? What is it they need to be facing right now? What have they been delusional about, please? Two more shuffles. Last shuffle. Okay, can I get 3 base cards for Gemini, please? The Queen of Wands, the 3 of Cups, and the 2 of Pentacles. Here's another card of duality. So, you know, all the signs are interlinked, right? And for Aries, we had the Lovers and the Devil in the Aries reading with the moon right in the center. That's a lot of duality energy. And then for Taurus, we got the Queen of Pentacles and the Emperor. That's masculine and feminine energy. That is more duality. And then we've got duality here again for you, Gemini, with the 2 of Pentacles, the Sun and the Moon, the light and the dark. Spirit is just reiterating here that the duality of nature is something that we all experience. The contrast in our life is something that we all experience. It's part of being a human. And when you look back on these happier times and expect it to always be that way, you're going to set yourself up for a lot of disappointment. When you look in this card, there's a person standing on a fence and they're walking down the middle, right in the middle, in between the light and the dark. And Spirit is encouraging you that that's where you need to be right now. You need to be walking the middle path and find a place of calmness and serenity right in the middle. Appreciating what happened and surrendering to whatever experience comes in next. You know, the darkness, there are lessons within there and gems to be had, treasure to be found. And when I look at these cards here, Gemini, I see these 2 cards that came out first are 2 cards of joy and happiness, confidence, passion, celebration. And I feel like this is where your delusion is. You may be delusional thinking that what is happening in your life is not fair, and it should be happier, and it should be more passionate and filled with love and celebration. But life is just not like that all the time. It's contrast. It's filled with contrast at every turn. And if you look at your life and expect things to be happier, you're just going to make yourself depressed. You're going to put yourself in a state of depression, and you're going to be pessimistic about the world around you. You know, one of my favorite sayings is from Teal Swan, And she says, the circumstances you are experiencing are not the cause of your suffering. The cause of your suffering is the thought or idea that what is happening should not be happening or should not have happened. That saying is all about surrendering to the experience and finding the beauty in the lesson, finding the beauty in the contrast. What happened is supposed to be happening. I know that's really hard to grasp and understand, and it can bring up a lot of anger in a lot of people, but it's absolutely true. Those things that challenge us are what make us stronger. It's about expansion. That's what the universe is all about. It's about expansion. And if you can face adversity in your life in a very stoic and regal way, that, my friend, is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful when you can actually get yourself to a place where you can face the adversity in your life head on with courage and zest and appreciation and gratitude for the challenges and experiences. It's what makes you stronger. When you can face adversity with gusto and courage, it's not easy. I'm not saying it is, but it's very admirable. That is a very strong person, very strong character, and something we should all aspire to. All right, Gemini, I hope this reading was very helpful for you, and I also hope that you have a beautiful full moon in Pisces, and we'll see you in the next reading. All right, Cancer, let's get started. Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Cancer regarding the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. What kind of illusions or delusions does the Cancer need to face in order to really harness the power of this lunar eclipse? What kind of illusions or delusions does the Cancer need to face in order to really harness the power of this eclipse? Let's get one more shuffle, please. All right, 3 cards for Cancer, please. The World. The 8 of Pentacles. And the Queen of Wands. That just came out in Gemini's reading right before you. Yeah, it looks to me, Cancer, that the delusion that you have has to do with how you're perceived in the world. You might put on a brave and happy face when you go out into the world. And this is putting you in a state of delusion. You feel like you have to be this charismatic, enthusiastic person in the world. Otherwise, you know, people aren't going to like you. Things are not going to go well. But honesty and authenticity, I feel, are so underrated in our human experience. And to me, it feels here with, look at this card, the World. There's like ballerina dancing. The World is the last card of the major arcana. And it represents the culmination or an ending, the world around you. And then we've got the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is about work, but this card, the depiction on this card is really interesting because you can see there's like a robotic person and somebody else is putting their face on for them. You may feel that work, you're forced to be very charismatic within the workplace. It doesn't even have to do with work. This could just be life, but you feel like you have to be charismatic. And this is a delusion because authenticity is really important. When you're having a really bad day, let people know around you. You don't have to be moody about it, but you can be like, look, I'm just really having a bad day today, and this is how I feel. And I want to let you know because I don't want to let it affect you, but I also want to be authentic and let you know how I'm feeling. Because when you put on a fake face, Cancer, and you start hula dancing and acting charismatic and passionate and, this is going to exhaust you. This is going to really exhaust you. So this to me feels like Spirit is saying, Cancer, your delusion is that you have to put on a fake face in order to succeed in the world around you. That's not true. Authenticity, people might not receive it well in the moment, but they admire it. I guarantee you, if you're authentic with people, then they will walk away from that interaction and think about it and respect it for sure. Yeah, Cancer. You're such an emotional sign. You're so deeply emotional. And I feel like for you especially, when you stuff your feelings down, when you stuff your emotions down, it affects you even more than other signs because you sit in the fourth house. The fourth house is all about your emotions, your emotional basis for fulfillment. So it is so important for you to release those emotions in a healthy way. Let people know how you're feeling and take that fake face off. Put on the real Cancer face. It's going to feel good. It's going to feel good. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading was helpful for you, and I also hope that you have a beautiful full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. We'll see you in the next reading. All right, Leo. Let's get started with your reading. Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Leo regarding the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. What kind of illusions or delusions does the Leo collective need to face at this time? What kind of illusions or delusions may be holding the Leo collective back from progressing on their journey, please? Let's get one more shuffle. Leo collective, lunar eclipse in Pisces. 3 base cards, please. Seven of Swords. 10 of Cups. Strength. There you are, Leo. There you are. The Seven of Swords is the first card that came out. And I love this deck so much because the depictions on the cards are not traditional at all. It opens up a whole new world of symbolism to me. And traditionally, the Seven of Swords is about sneakiness. It's about lying and deceiving. A trickster. But it also represents impulsive action. Impulsive action. And I don't see this card this way in this reading at all. The traditional description of this card, I'm throwing out the window completely. Because what I'm seeing right now is this crow type character reaching for the sun. And what is the sun? Joy, happiness, innocence, purity, childlike nature, and is associated with Leo. So this card to me, I don't feel the Seven of Swords in it at all. I feel like, Leo, you've been reaching for your joy and your happiness for a while. You've been maybe in a dark place, trying to figure out how to stabilize your own joy and happiness. The next card that came out is the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is ultimate fulfillment, emotional fulfillment, joy, happiness, emotional stability, appreciating your life and what you have. So this is like putting it together. This creature is reaching for the happiness and the joy. But I feel like what Spirit is saying here is you may feel like you've been grasping at straws. The illusion that you're facing is that there's something better, that you're reaching for something better all the time. But what you're not seeing, the illusion or delusion that you're not seeing, is how good you've actually got it. This card, the Ten of Cups, is about appreciating what you have. So I really feel like Spirit is saying your delusion here is that your right now is not what you want. Your right now is actually everything you need. Everything you need. Your delusion is that it can be better, it can be better, it can be better. And that's going to send you down a road of disappointment. But what you need to do, Leo, and I know you're on this path of enlightenment right now. It's been coming up in all of my readings for you. This year has been one of great epiphany and enlightenment for you. It's a number 8 year. And 8 is the month of August. So you're on a path of enlightenment right now, and your delusion is that it can be better. What Spirit wants you to focus on is what you already have and finding gratitude and appreciation for every moment, because those challenges and stuff, they're going to keep coming. And if you keep visualizing how things could be better and holding on to a fantasy of this fantasy of the perfect life, the perfect house, the perfect home, the perfect car, the perfect kids, the perfect dog, the perfect this, the perfect that. If you keep grasping towards that, you're going to be in a perpetual state of disappointment. Spirit wants you to surrender that fantasy and illusion right now and realize that what you have is valuable and what you want, and to stop focusing on external and turn inward. Look around you and appreciate what you've been gifted in this life. And this, my friend, is going to bring you into the future, which is strength, Leo energy, bright, beautiful, radiant Leo energy. My friend, my Leo comrade, if you don't already know, I am a double Leo. So I love to call you my comrades. I get goosebumps when I say that because I absolutely love Leos. They're filled with heart. They're filled with courage. And I feel like there's a lot of Leos out there that don't recognize their own strength, don't see their own courage. And you are so courageous, Leo. It's time for you to turn inward, appreciate the beauty that surrounds you, and become more stoic like a lion. This card is about confidence, gentle but firm, overcoming destructive impulses, and the ability to do something different with grace and courage. Leo, surrender the fantasy and delusion that life could be perfect. It never will be. It never will be. And the moment you surrender that fantasy is the moment you'll enter this beautiful, pure, divine, radiant Leo energy. Beautiful. All right, Leo, I hope this reading was helpful for you. And I also hope that you have a beautiful full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. We'll see you again in the next reading. Okay, Virgo, you're up. Let's get into your reading. Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Virgo, please. What kind of illusions or delusions does the Virgo need to face in order to really harness the energy of this lunar eclipse? What kind of illusions or delusions does the Virgo need to face in order to evolve in their experience? Let's get 2 more shuffles. All right, 3 base cards for the Virgo collective. What do we have for Virgo? Nine of Cups, the 5 of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. Virgo, the first card out is the 9 of Cups for you, and the 9 of Cups is all about a wish fulfillment. It's about something coming true that you want. It's a card of comfort. It's a card of pleasure as well. There is something in your life that you wished for that you are having to learn to release. You wished for something, and when you thought that it manifested and didn't turn out the way you hoped, it put you in a state of 5 of Wands. If you look on this card, it really is all about delusion. The 5 of Wands is about competition and fighting, arguing, a battle. But on this card, I love the depictions of this deck. They're not traditional at all, and I like to go off of the symbolism of the card instead of the traditional description, because if you look at this card, it's all about delusion. There are 2 people arm wrestling and they're smiling. It looks like fun and games, but if you look behind the figures, there is this other figure, this shadow figure standing behind them. That is delusion. That's thinking something is better than it actually is. There's like an ominous darkness around this interaction between these two people. Virgo, it feels to me like a person came into your experience that came with a dark cloud, came with a black cloud. And you thought that this was your wish fulfillment. But Spirit is saying now that you need to release this delusion. You need to change your perspective on why this person came into your life. You know the saying, a lesson, a blessing, a season, or a reason. And Spirit is saying that you've been delusional about the reason why this person came into your life. You may have thought that this was your wish fulfillment and you didn't want to give up on it. You didn't want to give up on the fantasy of this wish fulfillment. But Spirit is saying this person was not necessarily the blessing. They were the lesson. And it's time for you to have clarity on this with the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is all about the truth of the matter. It's clarity, it's thought, it's how you think, it's clarity of thought, it's a eureka moment. And Spirit is asking you to release the fantasy of what this was and stop reminiscing about how it could have been better. Let go of the fantasy. They came into your life for a very specific reason. And it was to teach you something about your own self-worth and your own confidence. You know, without challenge, there is no growth. And that's why this person came into your life. Spirit is asking you to surrender this fantasy, surrender it to the universe, and have clarity of thought on this. You know, release the old to make way for the new. It's in the base reading right here. Transformation around our fears, anxieties, and deep subconscious thoughts. And remaining determined when things get tough. Virgo, you have so many wonderful things coming into your life. But if you sit in a state of desire for something that's not supposed to be part of your experience, then that's going to put you in a lower vibration and you're not going to manifest what it is you actually want into your life. You have to look back on this experience and see the beauty within it and change the way you think. This is going to make you a happier person. And when you're a happier person, you're a magnet to other happy people too. So Virgo, it's time for you to surrender this fantasy that you've been carrying for way too long. Spirit says it's time to have some clarity of thought. All right, Virgo, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this reading was helpful for you, and I also hope that you have a beautiful full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. We'll see you in the next reading. Libra, welcome into your lunar eclipse in Pisces reading. Let's get started. Okay, Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Libra. What kind of illusions or delusions does the Libra need to focus on releasing at this time? What kind of fantasies does the Libra need to surrender to in order to involve and really harness the power of this lunar eclipse? 2 more shuffles. All right, 3 base cards for Libra, please. Queen of Swords, the Fool, and the Nine of Pentacles. Transformation from pain. Above the dirt, pure. Libra, you've had to move on from something. The Queen of Swords, she's the Queen of Air, and you are an air sign. And then we've got the Fool as the next card, which is a new beginning, a fresh start. It's the first card in the tarot. And then we've got the Nine of Pentacles, which is independent feminine energy. I'm having a hard time seeing where your delusion lies here, Libra. I'm really not seeing a delusion, a fantasy here. The only thing I can think of is that you might question how you handled things in the past. You might question whether or not you were decisive enough about something. And I think if there's a delusion here, Libra, that's the only delusion that there is, that you could have handled the situation better than you did. You really handled it exactly the way you were supposed to handle it. That's what I'm seeing here. The only delusion I can see is that you might look back and wish you did something differently. And that's the only delusion I see here. You handled everything exactly the way you needed to handle it. You handled it perfectly, Libra. You handled it perfectly. And now you're working on your independence. You're working on your feminine power. Now, you could be a masculine Libra too. Feminine power is a compassionate power. It's a more serene power, not as assertive as masculine power. But the first card out is the Queen of Swords, right? The Queen of Air. The Queen of Air. And that is you, Libra. That's you. You are an air sign. Yeah, there was something that was really difficult and challenging in your past, but you handled it exactly the way you were supposed to handle it, Libra. You did it perfectly. I'm seeing little flashes of too much anger, and I feel like Spirit is saying that you handled everything exactly the way you were supposed to handle it. It was perfect. You did nothing wrong, but your anger sometimes can go overboard, and when you have too much anger, that can actually harm you. The Buddha says, holding on to anger is like holding a fireball in your hand, waiting to throw it at the person that's making you angry. But the only person that gets burnt is you, because you're sitting there holding the ball of fire. Spirit is saying the only thing that you could have done differently is not be so angry. But other than that, you're doing great, Libra. You're doing so good. This is amazing. The Fool card came out, and that is moving on. That's a fresh start. That is leaving the past in the past. And I feel like that is what you're trying to do right now, Libra, and you're doing a really good job at it, because the Nine of Pentacles is the last card that came out. Look at this figure holding the galaxies in their hands with this beautiful rainbow shape above it. You hold your future in the palm of your hands. and you're doing a really great job. You're doing it exactly the way you should be doing it. Spirit is definitely sending through a lot of messages of encouragement here. A lot of encouragement. The Nine of Pentacles is satisfaction, self-discipline, and completion. So we've got the ending of a cycle here with the Fool and the Nine of Pentacles. Spirit is ready for you, ready to encourage you to leave whatever this was in the past, to really break free from whatever it was that brought you all this pain. The Queen of Swords, one of her characteristics is transformation from pain. Transformation from pain, pure and above the dirt. Libra, your delusion and fantasy is the thought that you could have done something better than you did. You did it perfect. All right, Libra, I hope you have a beautiful full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, and we'll see you again in the next one. Okay, Scorpio, welcome in to your full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces reading. Let's get started. Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Scorpio regarding the lunar eclipse in Pisces. What kind of illusions or delusions does the Scorpio need to focus on facing at this time in order to evolve on their path? What kind of illusions or delusions do they need to face? What kind of fantasies do they need to surrender at this time, please? All right, Spirit, 3 cards for the sign of Scorpio, please. The World. That was the first card that came out in Cancer's reading too, Scorpio. The first card. The 6 of Swords. And the 7 of Cups. This came out in your full length, in your last full length reading I did. The 7 of Cups came out. That's a decision. There's a fantasy here, an illusion that something in your past was the world. There's an illusion here. An illusion here. Look at this card. You see the pictures on the wall there? That's a projection. A projection. And then the 6 of Swords is leaving something in the past. And the World is here. We can see the World. This ballerina person. But what I'm seeing here, Scorpio, is there's an illusion that something in your past was the world, the be-all, the end-all, the everything, the all that is, the world. Like, I feel like you're looking back at something or someone and seeing them now as everything, as the whole world. And now you're in a state of regret. You're regretting making a decision about leaving. But Spirit is saying that you were called to move on from this for a reason. There is something that you need to learn. And what happened was supposed to happen. You were supposed to move forward from this. You were supposed to move on from this. You know, the Six of Swords, it says down here, silent things kept hidden. Silent things kept hidden. And that was the whole theme of your full-length reading I just did. It was all about breaking the silence. Silent things kept hidden. Yeah, you're keeping this to yourself, that you feel like you made a wrong decision. And you need to speak up about this. You know, you did what you were supposed to do by moving away, by jumping in this boat and moving on away from this. You were supposed to do that because it put you in the hermit. It put you in a state of introspection. There was something that you needed to learn about yourself. And this is where your delusion is. Your delusion is that you think you made the wrong decision, but you didn't. You made the right decision. Because even though what you're going through right now might be heartbreaking and really hard and filled with regret, there's a lesson in there. You are supposed to be feeling those feelings right now so that you can become a better person in the future, moving forward. You're supposed to be feeling this regret right now. You're supposed to be feeling it. But you are being called to express yourself about this to someone. Scorpio, I know you have a hard time admitting when you make mistakes, when you think you made a mistake. This wasn't a mistake. It was supposed to happen, and it's teaching you things about yourself. But you have a hard time expressing your emotions. And that is something I feel that is part of your life's purpose in this incarnation. You are supposed to learn how to express your emotions more clearly and openly. This makes you feel vulnerable, Scorpio, and I know you don't like feeling vulnerable. You're a sign of power, transformation, and fearlessness. But Scorpio, we all have fears. We all have fears, and we all have emotions, and you are a water sign. I know you're emotional. I know you're a soft and squishy teddy bear deep in there. You just put on a really tough exterior. But Scorpio, yes, your lesson here, your message from Spirit is to release the fantasy that you made this horrible mistake. That what the decision you made to move on from something in the past was a big mistake. It wasn't. It's teaching you about yourself now. Now it's teaching you about yourself. And you've come to a place now where it's time for you to acknowledge that you feel you've made that mistake. And it's time to speak up about your feelings. That's exactly it. It's time for you to express to whatever this was in your past. If this is a person, it's time for you to reach out to them. It's time for you to face it. It's time for you to do what you need to do in order to find completion. Find completion in this experience, this learning lesson. Yes, Scorpio. Express your feelings. And it'll all work out beautifully. I just know it. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this reading was helpful for you, and I also hope that you have a beautiful lunar eclipse in Pisces. We'll see you next time. Sagittarius, welcome in to your lunar eclipse in Pisces reading. Let's get into it. Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Sagittarius, please. What kind of illusions or delusions does the Sagittarius need to focus on releasing at this time? What kind of fantasies do they need to let go of in order to see things how they really are, to see the truth of the matter, please. Last shuffle. All right, Spirit, 3 cards for the sign of Sagittarius, please. This one on top. All right, let's get 3 cards for Sagittarius, please. The 2 of Cups. The 4 of Cups. And the Knight of Pentacles. The first card out is the 2 of Cups. Now, we all know that the 2 of Cups is a card of soulmate connection. It's a soul contract. It's a collaboration or a mutual understanding, and can definitely be a romantic partnership. And then the next card we've got here is the 4 of Cups, which is about rejection. Traditionally in the Rider-Waite, there's a depiction of a person sitting under a tree. There's the Ace of Cups is coming out of the sky, but the person is not seeing it. The 4 of Cups in this deck is like kind of creepy to me. Look at the little clown down there. Opportunity missed. It's a missed opportunity. Detachment. This feels to me like, you know, and this has come up in your readings over and over again here on my channel, Sagittarius, that somebody did not treat you well and may have ignored you or rejected you or walked away from you or not treated you the way that you deserved to be treated. And Sagittarius, you're all about optimism. I feel like you invested in this longer than you should have. And the illusion here that maybe you keep going back to is, how could this have worked out differently? And I feel like you need to surrender the attachment to that fantasy. But I feel like you are, Sagittarius. I feel right here with the Knight of Pentacles, you are. The Pentacles is the slowest moving knight, though, so this might be a slow progression for you. And it's also, the Knight of Pentacles doesn't take too many risks. Doesn't take too many risks. But I think what Spirit is trying to say here, that you may reminisce about this situation, this experience that you had. And you may play it over in your mind of like, how could this have gone differently? And I think you need to surrender that fantasy that you couldn't have done things differently. And it was fate. It was fate, Sagittarius. It was fate the way things worked out. And you need to surrender this fantasy because it is holding you back. It's slowing you down with the Nine of Pentacles here. I feel like Spirit is saying that you need to surrender this completely surrender it. You know, on this card too, I see a clown offering a ball to this character that's juggling. And this came up in your last reading too, Sagittarius, that there was an energy that you had a connection with that didn't work out. And now they're in a state of, they want to come back and give you an offer. I think in your last full-length reading that I did, there was the Knight of Swords there. Like somebody was wanting to take action and come back. That's the feeling I got out of that reading. And I'm feeling it here again with the clown in this picture. But this person is a clown. Don't let a fantasy overcome you. If this person comes back and offers you a cup, right? I don't want to tell you what to do. You should follow your own intuition. But let's say I was you, I wouldn't take the offer. I feel like it's going to be a perpetual cycle. I feel like once they get comfortable again, the same scenario is going to play out and you're going to end up losing a lot of time. But the Nine of Pentacles here, you're moving forward. You're on a mission, but it might just be going slowly. And you can look on this card, there's also a ladder right here. And you can see a little figure is climbing this ladder. But that's a really big ladder. You know, Sagittarius, your symbol is the centaur. And the centaur's got a bow and arrow aiming for the sky. And I love that for this card because this person is heading to the sky. Sagittarius, you have so many amazing things in your future. Don't let a fantasy about the Two of Cups overcome you if this person comes back. Don't give in to that delusion or illusion that it could be a Two of Cups for you. Spirit doesn't want you to get stuck in the past with this person again. Spirit doesn't want you to get stuck in this. So that's your message here in this reading, Sagittarius. To not be persuaded by little clowns coming back with cups, feeding you an illusion or a fantasy. All right, Sagittarius, I hope this reading was helpful, and I also hope that you have a beautiful full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. We'll see you again in the next reading. Capricorn, welcome into your full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces reading. Let's get started. Okay, Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Capricorn, please. What kind of illusions or delusions does the Capricorn need to be facing at this time? What kind of fantasies do they need to be surrendering in order to evolve and grow, please? What kind of fantasies do they need to surrender? What kind of truths do they need to face? Last shuffle. Capricorn, please. We're here for Capricorn. All right, 3 cards for Capricorn. The Nine of Cups. The King of Cups. And the Emperor. Capricorn. Somebody came in to your experience offering you the world, offering you what felt like pure love. Somebody came in and offered you pure love, or what felt like pure love. With the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups here. The Knight of Cups is about romance. It's a love offer. He's very poetic and charming. He's a very charming knight. In love with love. That's the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is in love with love, but that can be a problem because it can be very flighty. It can be a very unstable love. And then the King of Cups here is like the deepest love, the deepest masculine love, but not really sharing it They're holding it in. This feels more like somebody came in and offered you the cup of love. But as it turns out, they're more in love with themselves. They were definitely on the narcissistic spectrum, is what I'm getting out of this. This particular person loves the honeymoon stage. They love the honeymoon stage, and that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a player. I'm seeing somebody that comes in and get charms you and woos you with love and romance. But then they get tired of it after a while. And that love and romance turns towards themselves, and then they look for the next best thing. They look for the next honeymoon phase. And this has caused a lot of anger within you towards the situation. You know, this person may have become bossy or analytical or passive aggressive. I'm definitely getting passive aggressive vibes off of this Emperor card here. Somebody who likes to control the situation. But I'm feeling off of these cards here, Capricorn, I'm feeling like there's still a part of you that thinks that this was real. That this was real love, that this was true love. And that is not the case, unfortunately. This was not true love. This was in love with love. In love with love. In love with the honeymoon. A flighty, romantic, immature person. And you're still working on releasing this fantasy. You're working on releasing this illusion. But what Spirit wants you to know is that you have the control all the time. You are in control of the scenario and your emotions. And that's part of your job here, is to find transformation around the sadness that still lingers within you. Like, I can feel it through the camera. There's definitely a lingering sadness within you, and strings are still attached to whatever this was that happened with you. But Spirit is asking you to be determined with this, determined to work through these fears and emotions that you still have for this situation. You know, I haven't done this for any of the other readings, any of the other signs, but I feel like getting some clarity cards for you. And we're going to the healing bones. I was just told healing bones. We gotta go. Spirit, what else do you have to tell the Capricorn collective about this? What kind of advice do you have for them about their delusion on what happened in the past? Their fantasy that maybe they might still be stuck in. All right, what else for Capricorn, please? What else about this fantasy for the Capricorn collective? Did you see that fly out of there? Oof, that gave me chills. Look at that, the ankle. Wrong steps. Tread softly, unexpected twist, and quick to change. This to me, though, I mean, it's got the foot in it. It feels a lot like walking away. Let's get some more. What else? What else for Capricorn? What other advice do you have for them? We've got digestion and the liver, detoxifying and processing. Yeah, you haven't fully processed whatever this was in the past. You haven't fully processed it. You're still digesting it. But Spirit is saying here to take a probiotic. It's time to process this and walk away from it completely. Get it out of your system. Digestion is about elimination. You still haven't fully surrendered this fantasy that you have, that this was true love, that this was pure true love. And the real thing is not going to come in if you're stuck in the past, Capricorn. I mean, I think I started my channel in May, and this is a reoccurring theme, a reappearing theme in your readings. You still have a tie to the past on this. You're still connected to the past on this. Yeah, the ankle, unexpected twist. There was an unexpected twist in this situation. An unexpected twist with this King of Cups, this Knight of Cups. Something happened suddenly. Something changed directions really fast. And you're being called to detoxify and eliminate this situation from your energy. Your job, Spirit is saying your job right now, what you need to focus on releasing, and the fantasy that you need to surrender, is that this was true love. And you'll never find it again. That's the illusion that you need to let go of. And the sooner the better. All right, Capricorn, I hope this reading was helpful. And I also hope that you have a beautiful full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. And we'll see you in the next reading. Aquarius, welcome into your full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces reading. Let's get started. Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Aquarius, please. What kind of illusions or delusions does the Aquarius need to be focusing on releasing at this time? What kind of truths does the Aquarius need to face in order to progress and evolve on their path? What kind of illusions or delusions does the Aquarius need to face in order to evolve on their path? Three cards for Aquarius, please. All right, what do we have for Aquarius, please? The Ten of Cups. This came out for Leo as well, Aquarius. The Nine of Cups. That came out for Virgo. And the Six of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. So this is overwhelmingly positive cards, and I feel like Spirit is asking you to tone it down just a tad, because you don't want to be set up for disappointment. There's going to be challenges, but I mean, where you're headed is amazing, Aquarius. Like, things are finally starting to align in your life, and you're finally starting to see how this could actually pan out. And yes, it's in your path. I can see it. It's coming up. The wish fulfillment is there, right smack dab in the middle of your reading. It's there. But at the same time, you want to keep the energy balanced. You don't want to become overly optimistic and set yourself up for disappointment when the struggles happen, when the challenges happen, when the adversity happens and you're faced with a difficult situation. up here in the base reading, we got transformation around our fears, transformation around our emotions, purification around our fears and emotions. And then we got the fixed card, which is about determination. This shows me that there are wonderful, amazing things happening right now in the collective, and that there is purification happening within our emotions, and that's clear in your reading down here. But this fixed card keeps pulling me back. It's about determination. It's about stability and strength, even in the face of adversity. Spirit is telling me here to not give too much, to not be overly flowery within your head fantasies. If that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense. Because we got the Six of Pentacles here. So it's like 10 of Cups, ultimate emotional fulfillment. 9 of Cups, that's a wish fulfillment, dreams coming true. Deep pleasure. And then we've got the Six of Pentacles, which is an energy of giving. It's a giving energy. You're giving to this. You're giving to these fantasies, which is putting you in a really positive state of mind. It's putting you in a really happy place. But just don't let the fantasy overcome you. Be prepared for trials and tribulations, because they will come. You will be challenged. The universe will challenge you on your path. And things might not happen the way you hope that they do, but they always happen the way that they're supposed to happen. So ask yourself, what is it that you're trying to achieve? Really get down to the root, the nitty-gritty of what it is that you're trying to achieve. If it has anything to do with obtaining anything around you, anything physical around you, then you're missing the point. But if you can answer that question, what is the root meaning of why I'm doing what I'm doing? If that root question has an answer of my own personal expansion and growth, then you've got the right idea. You're going the right way. And helping people is just it's definitely, I mean, it's important, it's beautiful, but if you think about it, it is a bit selfish in a way. I guess we can't be anything but selfish sometimes, but how do I put this? If your whole goal is to help someone and make them happy, because then they give you praise and that makes you feel good and happy, is that validation the root cause of your desire? I feel like Spirit is telling you to really think about why it is you're doing what you're doing, and think long and hard about that. Because what's going to happen when you don't get that external validation? What's going to happen when you face adversity? You know? Spirit just wants you to be prepared for that, and keep a middle ground. Keep a middle ground. Don't let yourself get overly optimistic, because that just sets you up for a crash, right? A crash where you'll go into depression when something doesn't work out. Try and keep a very, what's the word? Monotone happiness. Like happiness, joy, and expecting the wish fulfillment to come in, and expecting the happiness and the joy no matter what. No matter what happens. And just keep doing it because you love to do it. I think that's what Spirit is saying here. But Aquarius, you've got such amazing things coming in. Such amazing things coming in. You're at a turning point in your experience, and that keeps popping up in your readings over and over and over again for me here at the Third Flame Tarot. You're definitely at a turning point in your life, and Pluto is about to enter your sign. And it'll remain in your sign for the next 20 years, Aquarius. And Pluto is the planet of transformation, growth, expansion, death, and rebirth. So you are in it. You are in for it. Things are going to really change. The next 20 years of your life are going to be like nothing that you've experienced so far. It's going to really flip things around in a great way. In a challenging way, death is not always easy, but in a really good way if you keep your eyes on the prize and stay stoic. Stay stoic, Aquarius. You've got this. All right, Aquarius, I hope this reading was helpful for you, and I also hope that you have a beautiful full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. We'll see you in the next reading. All right, Pisces, welcome in to your full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces reading. Let's get started. Pisces, how are you feeling? I would love to know. I would love to know how you're feeling. Your first lunar eclipse in your sign since 2017. That is so cool. I bet you're having the weirdest of dreams right now, and I would love to hear about them. If you've been having some weird dreams, please plug it in the comments below or send me an email or something. That's one of my favorite things to talk about is dreams, so I would love to hear about yours. But anyway, let's get into your reading, Pisces. Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for the sign of Pisces, please. What kind of illusions or delusions does the Pisces need to focus on surrendering to at this time? What kind of fantasies do they need to let go of in order to progress on their path? What kind of fantasies or illusions does the Pisces need to face? What kind of truths do they need to face at this time? Okay, 3 cards for Pisces, please. Four of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and King of Wands. The Ace of Cups, I mean, that's a new beginning around love. It's healing. Grail of Rebirth. Pisces, you might be feeling actually really confident about your life right now. You might feel like you've got shit under control. Like, yeah, you know, you face a lot of stuff in your life, but you know how to handle it at this point. You feel pretty confident that you know how to handle whatever could come in. You feel strong and confident about this. And you feel like you're definitely getting a new perspective on certain things in your life. But I feel like where your delusion lies is that you have nothing left to work on. Like you've reached some kind of peak, some kind of peak. I don't know how else to explain it. But if you look at this card, the King of Wands, you know, the King of Wands is a strong king. It's about confidence. And he's standing on the peak. He's standing on a cliff. He feels like he could conquer the world. And that's what this reading is definitely feeling to me. It feels like you feel like you've got your shit together. You're not giving your energy away to things that don't deserve it, your energy. You're keeping that to yourself. You're giving all the love to you and your family. You feel like you've kind of made it. And that's where I feel like the delusion lies. When you feel like you've got nothing else left to work on, like you've made it, then you're missing the point. This is a forever learning experience. There's so much to learn and so many ways to grow and evolve. If you feel like you've made it to the epiphany of it, the peak of it, and you've got nowhere else to go, then you're missing the point completely. There's always room for improvement. Always room for improvement. And Pisces, one of your characteristics can be victim savior complex. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in this reading is you feel like you've made it to perfection and you're the savior to so many people. But don't let your selfless actions get to your head, because I know that you're a very selfless person. You like to give to the world around you. You like to contribute to the world around you, but don't let that get to your head too much. I think that might be a little bit of your delusionment here in this reading, is that you're overly confident and you might feel like you're a savior. Let's get a few clarity cards on this. Let's get a few clarity cards. Spirit, what else do we have for Pisces? Yeah, the Grail, the Ace of Cups is the Grail of rebirth. Yeah, you're feeling, you definitely feel, you feel like you've been through the ringer. You've experienced a lot of shit in your life. And you're finally coming out on the other side where you feel confident and like a little too confident. Pisces, a little too confident, like you might know it all. And don't let that settle into your thoughts. Don't let that settle into your energy, because Spirit will find a way to like shock that out of you. Spirit will find a way to like humble you, if you know what I mean. And that it feels like it's not going to be very comfortable when that happens. It's not going to be very fun. So don't let any kind of confidence or boisterous or comfortability let you get too comfortable in where you're at. All right, let's get a few clarity cards. Okay, what else do you have for Pisces here, please? What else for Pisces? What is there? Can you tell us more about the Pisces delusion? What is it that they're delusional about? Okay. Wow, the Nine of Cups. This is like the third time it's come out in the All Signs reading. Eight of Cups. I don't know how to take these cards. They came out kind of sideways. I think I'm going to take them in the reverse just because they came out more in the reverse than in the upright. Yeah, I feel like Spirit is kind of giving me a glimpse right now of what could happen if you become overly confident and maybe a little arrogant. Spirit is giving me a bit of a glimpse here of what could happen, and it looks like a bummer. Let me just say that. It'll shake your own inner strength. You might get put in your place a little bit here, Pisces. And then the wish fulfillment will maybe turn upside down, and you'll feel a lot of like your wish fulfillment just got shook. I feel like that's Spirit's message for you. I know it's not an easy one, and I don't like bringing a message like this to such an amazing sign because I absolutely adore Pisces. You're one of my favorite signs. Such a cool sign. But sometimes I think Pisces can become a little too know-it-all-y, if you know what I mean. Don't let yourself get overly boisterous or confident in your own abilities, even though we all know that you are extremely smart, you're extremely capable, you're extremely magical, and you're just an all-around super cool sign. But keep yourself humble, Pisces, and people will love you for that. All right, I hope you have a beautiful full moon in Pisces, and I can't wait to see you again in the next reading.